Hey everybody, welcome to Southern Logic Media. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking a little bit of time of your day out with me. I really appreciate it. I really do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That would mean the world to me, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. I got a good video for you today. This is going to talk about all these spoon-fed elite college students that's have lost their minds. We're going to go through it. I got some clips going on, so let's get started on them right away.
No, this isn't Gaza. This is Yale. Fox News Alert. Right now, you're looking live at the campus of Yale University, where police are swarming the campus. They are chanting right now, as you hear. There's been hundreds of students protesting Israel at Yale. Anti-Israel protests plague colleges and universities across the country, all while Jewish communities begin to celebrate Passover. Our next guest witnessed the anarchy firsthand on Columbia University's campus that pushed today's classes online, they say, for their safety. One was nearly burned after a protester lit his American flag on fire. Here to discuss it are Columbia University students Alicia Baker and Andrew Parker Stein. Andrew, it was you Saturday night, right? What happened?
So basically, a bunch of Jewish students came to campus to respond to the encampment. We just sang songs of peace. On the way out, a pro-Hamas mob started chasing us.
Singing songs of peace. Singing songs of peace. A pro-Hamas, they came chasing after them. It's pro-Hamas. Wow. Okay. Here we go.
Calling us in the middle of campus, calling us inbred, that we have no culture. One of them grabbed my friend's Israeli flag in the middle of campus, carried it to a mob by the gate that were communicating with the angry mobs outside of campus. They threw hard objects at him. They started harassing him. They tried to light his flag on fire, and nothing is done with this. And after that, on the way out, we were talking to public safety. They started following us on the way out, and public safety just shrugged their shoulders. They're the ones who are responsible in protecting us. And the only protection that we had was we have one student who's a 6'5" student, and everyone hid behind him.
They're talking about campus police is what they're talking about.
As we were leaving campus, and an angry mob of pro-Hamas students chased us off of campus, screaming, "We don't want no Zionists here, get out of here, F Israel," and a bunch of other...
And these are students.
So that's a great question. This is the most shocking thing on campus right now. We have video proof of people sneaking into campus.
Y'all listen to this real good, because I'm going to tell you that's the same exact thing that they did with the Antifa and BLM rise. They bust people in. They're talking about some of these people were like in their near 30 years old. I mean, really? College, you're 30? Give me a break. Soros is busting them in just like he did over with the BLM and Antifa mess that went on. But let's keep on going.
The encampment themselves are bragging about the fact that many aren't students, and so we don't know if they're
not.
Likely they're students. They might not be students, and Columbia is doing nothing about the fact.
Unbelievable. They just shut down school. Alicia, what's your experience?
I mean, look, we've been calling this out for 6 months now. We know that these are anti-Semites using anti-Semitic
Since the
rhetoric.
October 7th attack.
Since the October 7th attack. Since the first set of protests on October 12th. And now we see what happens when you don't shut down anti-Semitic rhetoric and you allow these people to feel entitled. You know, there were some arrests on Thursday. That was great. I commend the university for doing that. Guess what? They walk 20 yards to their left. They do the exact same thing on the other lawn, and they've been there since Thursday. And now they're harassing us. They're yelling, "Go back to Poland." You know, when they say we don't want no Zionists here and death to the Zionist state.
Look at that.
You know, what's the game plan? Where should we go?
Right.
Now
Y'all see that? Yeah, you see that flag burning? That pisses me off. God. That's one of my biggest pet peeves right there. A lot of men have died for that flag. And it's not, it's the flag, but it's what the flag represents. It represents us as one nation under God. It's supposed to be indivisible, but it ain't unity right now.
Saying go back to Poland. We all know what happened last time the Jews were in Poland.
Well, you shouldn't go anywhere, but you don't feel safe on campus.
Absolutely not. And there's really been no enforcement of policy. And the problem is that public safety is unable to really step in when there are problems.
Are they armed? I mean, are they capable of doing anything, Andrew?
I think that's the most concerning part. People have been saying for a while now that they don't feel safe, and a lot of that had to do with the rhetoric. But I want to be clear now. This has now gotten into physical safety. I no longer feel physically safe on my campus.
What year are you in?
I'm a junior.
So a junior, you going to finish up this semester?
It's a great question. If nothing,
Are you going to come back?
I promised myself after Saturday night, after our group was attacked by a mob of pro-Hamas supporters, that I'm not stepping on campus while this is happening. And I don't know what that means for finals. I don't know what that means for the rest of the semester.
For you guys, you have a mission. You want to get a degree from an Ivy League university. I don't think you should let these guys stop you from doing that.
I agree. And by the way, in America with religious freedom and at Columbia with, a big Jewish community, we're supposed to feel like we can be proud of our identities and we can be proud to wear our kippahs on campus and we can be proud of our state. We can be proud of Israel. And that shouldn't stop me from being able to walk on campus.
So in your estimation, who organized this? I mean, what's going on?
There's kind of two things happening. There's the coalition of groups on campus called Columbia University Apartheid Divest that are calling for a number of things. One of them now is defund public safety. So, I mean, they're basically trying to get rid of the only set of people that are even tasked with keeping us safe on campus.
Hey, look, the schools won't do nothing about it because they're afraid of losing their donors. They make multi-millions and millions and millions and probably billions of dollars from their donors. And their donors are the elite liberal left. I mean, way left. They don't want to lose them donors. That's why these schools hesitate to do anything about this. They say, "Oh, we're going to make them leave tomorrow, or we're going to give them 48 more hours." After the first craziness went on, I agree with doing a peaceful protest. Peaceful. It's good to protest. It's fine, but do it peacefully. And another thing, they're siding with Hamas, a terrorist organization that massacred, cut heads off, killed children. I mean, just massacred 1,700 people for no reason at all. They weren't doing anything to nobody. They was out there having a good time. And they came in on these paragliders. Really? It makes me sick. These kids have no idea what they're talking about. Look, I'm sure that they are into this LGBTQ whatever community. They're that liberal. But I guarantee you won't see none of them over in the Mideast. None of that group or these kids, either one. They wouldn't last. They wouldn't last 5 minutes. You don't see any of them getting a plane ticket and flying over to Gaza to help Hamas. You don't see that, do you? They're not going to. All they want to do is riot and just, you know what? I have no idea why they do it. They're siding with murderers. Hamas uses their own Palestinian people to hide behind. And I'm absolutely sure there's some good Palestinians. There's no doubt about it. but there's also some bad ones. And the Palestinian people voted Hamas to lead their little Gaza Strip. And this is what they got. So don't blame it on Israel. Israel didn't do it. Israel didn't cause this. It's 100% Hamas that caused every bit of this. But anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, here we go.
And then you have groups like Within Our Lifetime, which is designated by the Anti-Defamation League as very much supporting terrorism, if not kind of being a terrorist group themselves, or at least a pro-terror group themselves. And what's happening is that group that is organizing right outside our gates, which is, by the way, on the way back to my dorm, I have to walk through them, and the groups inside campus are totally coordinating, sneaking people in and out, sneaking things in and out. By the way, I don't know what's in a backpack when it gets snuck in. Who knows? I mean, Andrew on Saturday night had water thrown in his face. What if somebody had a gun or a knife? We never would have known.
Why do you say pro-Hamas?
Because someone stood there saying Al-Qassam's, which is the military wing of Hamas, next target, while we were singing songs of peace, holding Israeli flags, and they stood
singing songs of peace. That's the way it should be. That's exactly the way it should be. These spoon-fed elite kids that the parents are rich and the parents are probably the donors of these schools. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's get back to it.
there for 10 minutes and no one did anything about it. If this was a peaceful protest, if you have one rogue who's doing that, if someone on our side did anything like that, we would shut them down immediately. Instead, they had people filming it and celebrating it while we stood there singing songs of peace, and it's all over social media, pictures of Al-Qassam's next targets, which is Hamas.
Right. What's your reaction to the fact that I'm showing you live pictures at Yale right now, that you know this protest happened at MIT, that you know it's happening at Berkeley, at the new school downtown. A lot of NYU students are protesting there. They're coming up to you on the Upper West Side. So what are your reaction to this?
I mean, look, the fact that this is spreading is not surprising to me. I'm seeing it at Yale. I mean, my brother's going to Yale next year. I know that he's going to have to be dealing with the same things that I'm dealing with, and he walks around with a kippah too. I mean, it is really, really crazy that Jewish students who are
I'm not Jewish, but I swear I believe I'm going to go get me one of them kippah things and put on top of my head. I dare anybody to say something. I dare them.
entering college now and who are in college now have to be thinking about the fact that they can kind of make a choice, right? Do I want to be proud to be Jewish, or do I want to feel safe?
Or how about this? People looking at this resume go, oh, you went to Columbia? I don't think I want this resume. I'm going to put it to the bottom, except for guys like you who stand up and speak out. Thanks so much. Stay safe, but don't let them win. Get at least complete all your courses and then move on. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Please keep us up to date.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
Columbia University's president,
But wait,
Manoush Shafiq,
there's more.
resign are growing louder and louder after she surrendered her campus to pro-terrorist agitators, making life utter hell for Jewish students, giving the protesters another 48 hours to dismantle their anti-Israel tent city. Jewish Columbia students have been fearing for their safety as they've endured slogans like, "I am Hamas," and it's only getting worse. So far, 8,000 pro-Hamas protests have popped up in more than 850 cities in the U.S. Universities in Texas and California becoming the latest hotbeds of radicalism, with dozens arrested. But America's coward-in-chief could condemn all of this. But today, Joe Biden was in front of a microphone and a podium at two separate events, yet he walked away when pressed on it.
Look at him, y'all. That's a coward. He's a joke. He's a coward. He does this every time. Every time he'll walk away. He won't take no questions. He's a puppet. That's all that man is, a puppet. And you know who the string puller is. It's craziness. Watch him. This is the walk of shame right here.
Mr. President, do you have a message for the protesters on campus?
It doesn't get sold, Mr. President. Would you be Mr. Bach?
He can't walk off a stage, but he knows where that exit is, don't he?
Contrast that with House Speaker Mike Johnson. He showed some real chutzpah going into the Lion's Den of Columbia to speak with Jewish students.
As Columbia has allowed these lawless agitators and radicals to take over, the virus of anti-Semitism has spread across other campuses. I am here today joining my colleagues and calling on President Shafiq to resign if she cannot immediately bring order to this chaos. Enjoy your free speech.
But the radical protesters aren't just on campus. Both Alec Baldwin and New York City Mayor Eric Adams have been harassed while out in public by lunatics shouting pro-Palestinian slogans.
Alec, can you please say Free Palestine one time? Why did you kill that lady? You killed that lady and got no jail time? Israel, Zionism. Please say it.
She talking about him killing that lady. Well, how about Hamas when they killed all them innocent people, including children? Unbelievable. These people are mad. They're crazy.
One time.
Eric Adams? Yeah, you! You support the genocide in Palestine. There are homeless people all over New York. You're always partying. You don't actually care about the citizens of New York.
All right, Jesse, I'll start with you. You've got the radical left-wing protesters say they want another 48 hours on campus. You repeatedly hear Jewish students say they don't feel safe. And Columbia has moved hybrid for the rest of the school year. I mean, it sounds to me like the left is in charge.
What's chutzpah again, Janine?
Chutzpah.
Oh, chutzpah. It's Yiddish, right?
I'm not, but I like it.
So these presidents were on Capitol Hill just last month saying, if you say kill the Jews, that's against our harassment policy. The Harvard lady was fired because she couldn't say it. And now these people are just outright shattering the policy, and they're not enforcing the policy. They're negotiating with them. I remember there was a president, Dana, see if you can remember. He said, you're either with us, you're against us. Okay,
Ronald
you do
Reagan.
not negotiate with terrorists. And they are now negotiating with terrorists because what they're having a hard time figuring out is this oppression hierarchy. Are the Jews more oppressed than the Muslims? And when you live in a world where you see everybody is oppressed or oppressed, does an inside straight beat two pair? They can't figure out who to side with. And we had a psychiatrist on last night to explain why most of the people are female that are leading this protest. And she said because females, and I think I can speak for the women at the table,
You cannot.
are generally nurturing people. And when their professors are giving them better grades for their social activism, they're trying to appeal to their teachers, and they've been told they're oppressed as women. And they identify with the Palestinians, and they're trying to hug them and nurture them.
Okay.
This is not what I said, Judge. This is what my guest said, who's a clinical psychologist.
Thanks for repeating it.
Okay, and she also said because they're single, they're not nurturing their boyfriends. Their boyfriends have been described as toxic, so they're trying to nurture other people. And I saw this happen in 2020. Remember when there were these Black Lives Matter riots?
Vaguely.
And what everybody did was let them fester. And so they've seen what they can get away with. And now you see it spreading to the West Coast, see it spreading to Texas. And they're going to do this because they know they're not going to be held accountable.
Okay.
And now I know there's been a lot of talk about me being awarded an honorary doctorate by Columbia because I'm such a man of letters. And I just want to say preemptively, I will not accept this honorary doctorate as a matter of principle. So let's just put that to bed right
Good
now.
for
Thank you,
you.
Tyrus.
All right. You know what? I'm going to go to Dana now, and I suspect that Dana will agree with me that you do not speak for the women at this table. But the important question that I want to ask Dana is this. Look, you have Joe Biden, who gives a talk, who comments on the bill that was signed, the one on banning TikTok and the money the omnibus bill with the money that was going to Ukraine, et cetera. But at the beginning of the speech, he says, and I'll answer questions. And at the end of the speech, he walks away, answers no questions. And yet Mike Johnson is out there saying, this is wrong, this is America, thank God you have free speech.
It really is remarkable that, I mean, apparently the president can't answer questions unless he's out with Marine One worrying in the background and reporters shouting questions at him. Axios reported this week that he's the only president in living memory to not grant a single interview to one of the major newspapers in the Oval Office. And apparently he's not going to. And that makes me think, even though I think he should debate, and I have believed that there will be a debate, I think that maybe they think that he can't.
There is not going to be a debate. He can't. There's no way. There's no way. I don't think. My opinion, I don't think. It's not going to happen. He's just, his brain is gone, and you see it every day. But anyway, let's keep going.
Do it. That's my only explanation. But here's this one, which is now for 3 days, they've had an opportunity for him to say something on camera directly to the Jewish students and parents and to the rest of us who are concerned about them, about this growing outrage. And he decides to say nothing. Don't just take it from us. Politico's headline today: the Biden team's blasé about it. And the campaign says, we don't think it'll hurt us in the campaign. Like, well, but what is your principle? You are the leader of the free world. You are supposed to be the one who helps us never forget.
Yeah.
And yet here you have students who are hiding. And I do take issue with the clinical psychologist, because I believe that women can be hateful hate mongers just as much as men can. And that's what I say about this.
Yes.
And they're not taking their rage out at the embassies. They're taking their rage out on Jewish students and the universities who have them there. I do also think one other thing I just want to mention. I support the idea that if you are arrested, even if you don't get a summons or you don't get prosecuted, if you're on a student visa, you're out. And if you're not on a student visa, your name is crossed off any loan forgiveness for the rest of your life. My last point is this: NYPD is reporting a lot of the ages of the people who are being arrested. They're 25, 27, 28, 29 years old. These are not your typical undergrad. So who are these people? They should be arrested and prosecuted.
You know, Tyrus.
They're being shipped in by Soros. You got to see all these tents. The tents that was going up at these universities. They were all the same color, just about. They came from one place. They were these 28, 30-year-olds. They were shipped into these places, just like the days back in the Antifa days and the BLM days. Soros is causing a lot of this. He's pouring. And these prosecutors that's prosecuting Trump and stuff. It's all Soros backed. That man he's evil person, and he's got a lot of money, and that's what happens. But his day will come.
One of the things that I think is very disconcerting to so many people is free Palestine, long live the Intifada, which is, the Palestinians uprising and killing the Jews from the river to the sea. I mean, are these students so shallow that they didn't know that Gaza is its own entity, that they elected Hamas to rule them?
Just like I was saying.
A lot of things that make me upset, the slogans, but even we're doing it. Pro-Hamas terror. Take the where's the guts? Hamas terrorists are at the school. Why do we keep calling them pro? Why? They're not pro. I am Hamas. If I said I am a Black Panther, and me and Harold are Black Panthers, Jesse 1%, you're in. We're Black Panthers. We would be treated differently at work. Yeah. If I decided overnight to identify as a Nazi, and I came into this and I am representing Nazis today on the 5, how many commercial breaks would I make, Jesse?
0.
0. I'd be out.
None.
Gone. So again, we got to stop with the pro. They want to be it. They're not going to change. These aren't young kids. These are pamphlet protesters. who for some reason they have circled. And here's the deal. The way this stuff works, Black America needs to pay attention because it usually runs downhill. They'll start with one group and then they'll start with us. And when is it going to be on? Now, in this last.
Hey, they love Hamas so much, just like I was always saying, but get you a plane ticket. Go to Gaza. That's your people, right? Yeah, go. By all means, I wish that every one of them would go, but you will not find one, not even one, that'll get a plane ticket and fly over there and help fight against Israel. You won't find one, not one. All they are is agitators. They're sorry, guys.
Couple years after women have been under attack, being a man's man is being under attack, and now basically Jews, everything that's wrong with them. When the original art, it doesn't matter whether you're pro-Israel or not. If you're a father, a husband, a son, a wife, a mother, and seeing what happened on October 7th, there should be no question to support them. Absolutely no question. But when they say pro, start calling them what they are. That's what they want to be. But let them experience it. And let's start getting a list of actual charges pressed. And hey, real quick, the president, he did walk away good. He went in the right direction when he left because, as we know, he's very sharp.
Yeah, clearly. You know what? The whole idea of the core curriculum in these Ivy League universities, Harold, has changed. And I think it's almost, I think that this is one of the things that may lead to a rejection of the Ivy League colleges and more kids applying to Clemson and some of the other universities. You know, that these elite universities, they've lost credibility, as will their graduates going forward.
Well, I don't know. But first, it's good to be back around the table. I'm not convinced that how long-term this will be, but you could very well be right. I'm going to say what I've said for the last several days and align with everything around the table. There's no place for threats, violence, or identifying as a terrorist. Every president should have every right to err on the side of their code of conduct. If their code of conduct is ambiguous in any way, err on the side of protecting your students, be they Jewish students, be they not Jewish students, be they black students. I don't care what. Your job is to protect your students. Two, I'm glad the president signed the bill today. It provides aid to Ukraine, it provides aid to our friends in Israel, and provides aid to our Asian allies as they try to counter China. And there was a bipartisan coalition to pass it, and the president deserves credit. Speaker Johnson deserves credit. I'm not sure if I was Speaker Johnson, I would have gone to Columbia's campus today. I would have said it from the House floor, but he had every right, along with his colleagues, to do that. What I hope happens now is what you're saying around the table. It is hypocritical for Republicans who get really partisan about this issue to try to make this about Democrats when almost a third of Republicans did not support the bill to provide aid to Israel. Equally so, it's hypocritical of Democrats and President Biden to say things about Black Lives Matter, to say things when George Floyd happened, but not to say something.
The Republicans that didn't support the financial aid to Israel, the most of them are rhinos, Republican in name only. They're not the real conservative Republicans.
And respond when you're walking off after giving a press conference there. If we don't have the courage as politicians, and I'm a former politician, a recovering politician, and frankly would love to go back. If we don't, all I'm saying is I love the business of politics and public service. If we don't have the decency to say that threats and violence have no place, that you can say you are for the Palestinian people and for a two-state solution, but be totally against those who are aligning themselves with Hamas or who are threatening Jewish students or who are engaging in violent acts against Jewish people in this country around the world, then what are you? So I would say the White House and to the president, maybe the president didn't hear the question. I give him the benefit of the doubt. Hold on, time out, guys. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, including people around the table. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's very hard. It'll be very difficult going forward if there's not a statement from the White House on this issue condemning the violence, condemning the threats, and condemning any student who says, or for that matter, any professor who's teaching, as you said so well, Tyrus, it's Hamas. Yep. You can't say you're a Black Panther or you're an ISIS and not be arrested. This is wrong, and they should be speaking about it.
Okay, I want to make one thing clear. Joe Biden before he went out and spoke about that bill giving the money away and about the ByteDance divesting itself from TikTok, said, quote, "I will take questions on this later," and he never did.
He never
the audio
does.
was clear. There was no Marine One in the background. Everybody was teed up. He said he would take questions, and he didn't.
I'm saying
because you're giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm telling you what the facts are.
I give you the benefit of the doubt.
No, you're not giving me the benefit of the doubt. The president said it.
I agree with you. He should.
You have
the
to
longer
agree
they don't
with me.
say
Those
it,
are the facts.
the longer they don't say it, the less credibility they will have. I
Up
agree
next.
with you.
Click.
Well, there you have it. But you know what? These kids do have one backer. Yep, he's endorsed them. He's endorsed them. Yeah, he's endorsed them, and I'm getting ready to show him to you. So y'all, tell me what you think. There he is. The Ayatollah Khomeini, whatever his name is. That's a pure devil right there. He's endorsed these college students for protesting for Hamas. Yep. That evil POS right there. He's just, look at him. He's just pure evil. That's all right. Brother, your day is coming. Your day is coming too. And we got a president that runs from the press that won't talk about this. He's been running and hadn't even spoken about this this stuff that's going on with all these, Hamas Hamas backing college students, spoon fed. He's not said nothing about this. No media on it at all, as far as I know. And y'all probably can tell I know a little bit about the news. And he's supposed to be the leader of the free world. He's supposed to be a uniter. And he should have been out there right away trying to tap this down before it even gets worse than it is already. We have a leader from another country that had to say something about the United States college students that's doing this. Another country. Unbelievable. Somebody else had to step up and say something, another leader. Since that thing in office won't say anything, they had to say something. And I appreciate this man. I think he's a good man. And I'm getting ready to show it to you.
Pro-Palestine protests have been spreading like wildfire across US college campuses, and now they have Israel's Prime Minister shook. This was Benjamin Netanyahu addressing not his own country, but America.
What's happening on America's college campuses is horrific. Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel. They attack Jewish students. They attack Jewish faculty. This is reminiscent of what happened in German universities in the 1930s. It's unconscionable. It has to be stopped. It has to be condemned, and condemned unequivocally. But that's not what happened. The response of several university presidents was shameful.
Yep.
Now, fortunately, state, local, federal officials, many of them have responded differently, but there has to be more. More has to be done.
Yep.
It has to be done not only because they attack Israel, that's bad enough. Not only because they want to kill Jews wherever they are, that's bad enough. It's also, when you listen to them, it's also because they say not only death to Israel, death to the Jews, but death to America.
Yep.
And this tells us that there's an anti-Semitic surge here that has terrible consequences.
Death to Israel.
And guys, these are supposed to be our future leaders of America. They're supposed to be. They're the ones that's supposed to be taking over after I'm gone. Oh God, I really sincerely hope something in 2024 happens that starts to change our nation for the better, and it starts something intervenes and make these young people wake up. They're spoon-fed, never had to work a day in their lives. They come from wealthy backgrounds, and it's unbelievable. I blame the parents a whole lot on this. The parents of them kids, and just let them get by with what they ever wanted to get by. I tell you what, you would never see one of my kids out there saying this about Hamas. Never. Because I raised my kids with morals. I raised my kids to love America and what we stand for, or what we used to stand for. Our country is going to waste. If we don't watch out, America's over. It really is. It's over. We got to do something, and do something quick. We got to get a strong leader in there again. And Lord knows I certainly hope Trump makes it. If we don't, just like he says, we're not going to have a country anymore. And I believe him 100%. We're not. They got him hemmed up in the courtrooms, and they're doing everything they can do to stop him from being president again, because they're worried about what's going to happen to them. They know that they're going to jail and whatnot. You'll probably see a lot of them going to these non-extradition countries once he gets sworn in. But anyway, I got a video coming up on that as well. But you know what? We need to really sincerely bring God back into the country. In God we trust, right? We have to do that. We have to get our morals back. But anyway, thank you all so much for stopping by. I really appreciate each and every one of you. It really means the world to me. I don't have, like I said, I don't have that many subscribers, and if you would, please like and subscribe to my channel to help me grow a little bit. It kind of gets depressing at times. It really does, but I keep going and keep going and keep going, and I'm not stopping. It helps get the algorithms out, I guess. It's what way YouTube works. I'm truly not after the money into this, because I do this because it's a passion, and it's a platform that I can get the word out and keep you guys informed. And yeah, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you that backs me up and will help me get through this, and because without you guys, I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. But anyway, may God bless each and every one of you. Much love, and I really, really Appreciate each and every one of you. And just like I say at the end of every one of my videos, you, yes, you are valued way more than you know. Even from people or someone you think didn't. I mean, that's the way it is, that you don't even know you're valued. Yeah, he values you. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, God bless you all. And I'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned for my Supreme Court video coming out very soon. Till the next video, you guys. Bye-bye.